Welcome back, and today we are working on Volvo XC70 diesel engine. It's a D4 and Yevgeny is doing this repair on his XC70. We're going to be replacing the alternator pulley, and when the engine is warm there is no noise from the pulley at all. Only when in the morning the engine is cold, that's when the pulley was making noise. We're gonna show you now the morning startup of the engine. Let's hear that. To perform this repair, you will need the pulley itself and a special tool. The pulley you can buy either Volvo original part, or you can buy this INA brand, which is actually the manufacturer for Volvo. So you can save some money here by purchasing the INA brand. In the box you're gonna see the pulley itself. There is a cap and some paperwork inside. There is instruction booklet and some kind of coupon.
Еще такая фигня. Какой-то купон на 150 поинтов. Так, номер нашей муфты.
Here are the part numbers for both pulleys, the Volvo one and the INA. They're exactly the same pulleys, so you can choose what you want to get. And to remove the pulley off the alternator, you will need this toolkit, which is Force 674.
78, а нам надо 674. Он как раз подходит к Volvo.
The tool consists of two parts. One multi-teeth socket, which screws the pulley onto the generator. And to prevent the generator from turning, there is a this piece here that will actually hold it in place. Here is some more information on the screen about this kit.
У нас 33 зуба, 19 миллиметров. На ней ничего не написано, но потом напишем, если что. И вот такой шестигранник.
The socket bit is gonna go in to the generator shaft, which will hold it in place. And the actual multi-teeth socket will unscrew or screw back on the pulley itself. So we're going to show you later once we pull the alternator out of the car. We're going to be using Vida for help here. First we need to remove the decorative cover of the engine. Just 4 clips. You want to remove the 4 clips and pull the cover off. Then we need to remove the air duct. There is a couple of hose clamps that needs to be loosened up. And now we can pull off the air duct of the car. There is a vent nipple underneath, which is very common on leaking oil on diesel Volvos. We have a separate video where we reseal this vent nipple. So take a look, the link is on the screen or in the description below. Next step is very important, to remove the negative battery lid. Now removing the passenger front wheel. Now we need to remove the wheel arch. There is two 10mm nuts. and torque screws all around the perimeter of the wheel arch. Remove the few clips that hold this protective cover. Once the wheel and the wheel arch are off the car, we gain access to the belt tensioner. We did mark the belt with an arrow using a marker, because when reinstalling the belt, it needs to be put back in the same turning, spinning direction. So the next step is to get the tension off the belt and take the belt off all the pulleys. For this, we will need the Torx 60 tool. This is the tool that we're going to be using to get the tension off the belt. Here's a screenshot from Vida. Counterclockwise, you're going to turn the tensioner to get off the tension. So using a ratchet, counterclockwise, turn the tensioner. It's spring loaded, and while holding it, you can slide the belt off the pulley. Let's take a closer look at the belt. The belt was replaced approximately 40,000 kilometers ago, or 30,000 miles. And if we look close, there is one tear on one of the grooves, as you can see. So definitely needs a new belt. Unfortunately, we don't have a new belt right now, but we'll replace it later. To remove the generator off the car, make sure that you disconnect the battery negative cable. It's very important so you don't short the battery. And there is a positive lead here with a protective cap and another cable at the bottom. There is one bolt that holds the alternator on top and two bolts at the bottom. Take off this protective cap, and now you want to unscrew this nut that holds the positive cable to the alternator. It's a 13mm socket. And take off the positive lead. This connector gave trouble. It took half an hour to find out how to disconnect it. What you need is a flathead screwdriver. You insert it into the groove, and then you need to kind of bend it sideways and pull off the connector at the same time. Just watch the video.
Отжимаем. Так. И все. Разъем снят.
Now unscrew the 3 bolts that hold the alternator to the engine.
Откручиваем верхний провод.
First, we're gonna unscrew the top bolt. Next are 2 bottom bolts. Now, to pull the generator out of the car, there is a relay that's in a way, and Vida actually calls to unscrew it and put it sideways. There is a little screw that holds the relay here, this one. So just unscrew and set it aside. This is the relay at the bottom picture. Torx 30 screw. Once the screw is out, just take the relay and set it aside. This way the generator will slide out just between the rad hose and the radiator fans. Now the hardest part of all is to take in the generator out, and in a way two hoses, one rad hose and another one. So the rad hose you're gonna push against the oil filter. We're gonna just push it forward, and the other hose, there is a bolt that you wanna unscrew, and now this hose can move a bit, so we're gonna push it also towards the oil filter, and we're gonna slide the alternator out. Let's do it. Now Vida calls for draining coolant and removing this radiator hose out of the car. We skip that step to save time, and as you can see, it actually worked. You just want to take your time and just be careful not to damage anything. If you want, you can drain coolant and disconnect this hose. It's up to you. We managed, Evgeny managed to do this repair without skipping that step. And yes, success. The alternator is out. Just be careful when you pull it out. The positive lead here is sharp. Make sure you don't damage the hoses on the way out. We're gonna show you the location of the bolts. So the alternator sits on the engine block. These are the two bottom bolts. We're gonna zoom in and get a closer look. And one more bolt at the top. The alternator is on the stand here. The two bottom bolts are silver in color. They're at the bottom, and one more bolt, which is black, is the top. They're not regulated, they just bolt on and done. Just to prove that there is a problem with the pulley, we're gonna carefully take a screwdriver, just block the alternator there from spinning, and let's hear how it sounds.
Такой звук.
Definitely not a smooth sound. Let's compare to a new part.
Новая, так нет. Очень тихо, аккуратненько шумит. Не шумит, вернее, крутится.
Now we're gonna set up the tool to remove the pulley. Insert the socket.
То есть наша задача сейчас попытаемся его сдернуть.
And there you go. Now you can spin it off by hand. Let's hear it one more time. Every morning when the engine is cold, it made this sound.
Это наша муфта. Она у меня по утрам и по на холодный. Звук у него есть. Новенькая.
As you can hear, a definite difference between the old and the new pulley.
Так, посмотрим. Ну,
And
всё, вот
comparing the two
оригинальный
pulleys,
стоит ролик Ина.
it proves that
55,
Ina brand is the same
3392 на
manufacturer
радио.
for
И
Volvo,
приобрел я того же
so they
самого
put
55
this pulley in a Volvo box
Ина
and
и
sell
F55
it.
3392.
So don't bother
Germany.
getting the original
Так
part.
что,
If you want,
как
you can
говорится,
save some money here.
сэкономили.
Reinstalling
Закончим
the
тем же
pulley back
способом.
onto the generator in reverse, screw it back on, carefully using a screwdriver, just block it off to hand tighten it. And now set up your tool and tighten it to 85 Nm.
Рычага не хватает. Будем так закручивать.
And it's tight and it's in place now. Just a quick check here. We're gonna reinstall the new cup that comes in the box. Block it off and test. It will turn one way but not the other, and it's nice and quiet now. Installation is in reverse. Carefully, you wanna slide the alternator back into position. Be careful not to damage the hoses here with the positive lead. And it's a bit tricky but possible, as I said before here. It's in. Now reinstalling the 3 bolts that hold it.
Будем прикручивать свое посадочное место.
There is not much room here to film, so we've sped up the video here, reinstalling the 3 bolts. Reinstalling the relay into its position. It was in a way.
Подумал, что-то как оно тут помешает.
Reconnecting the connector, make sure it clicks in.
До щелчка. Так, и одеваем.
Reconnecting the positive lead onto the alternator, and then use the nut to tighten it back.
И прикручиваем ее.
Don't forget to reinstall the protective cap onto the nut. This prevents accidental short circuit. Reinstalling the belt using the previously marked arrow here. The routing of the accessory belt is visible on the next screenshot on the second picture. And the last step is to counterclockwise release the tension and slide in the belt into position, and this procedure is definitely much easier with 2 person. And one more check, the relay is back into position, the connector is on, the positive lead is back and it's tight. Checking the belt to make sure it sits nice in the groove so it doesn't get off at the time of engine startup. And now in reverse we are gonna reassemble everything back. works as it should. Let's thank Evgeny for this excellent video tutorial, for the time that he took to shoot this video. If you like it, so click like, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, don't forget the notification bell, and I hope that you enjoyed it. For more information, look in the description below, and don't forget we have more videos at the end on the screen. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.